brief recap of the events so far. There's timestamps below to skip this portion. Chief Tekum, desperate to uncover the mountain's hidden treasures, broke a sacred pact between his tribe and the mountain. In retaliation, the mountain unleashed its fury upon the tribe. To appease the mountain, Tekum offered Tallulah, an outcast with mysterious powers, as a sacrifice. Deep within the mine, Tallulah encountered a horned, stag-like being who revealed her true potential. Through a painful ritual, she awakened her powers and began training to become the mountain's protector. Guided by the stag, Tallulah learned to harness the elements and fight with great skill. She transformed from a frightened outcast into a powerful warrior queen, ready to defend the mountain and its people. Tallulah and the stag now stand before the village that outcast her, ready to confront Chief Tekum. After what seemed like many moons, as Tallulah and the stag emerged from the depths of the mountain, the sun's rays felt almost foreign on their skin. They stood at the entrance of the cave, perched on a cliff that overlooked the village below. Tallulah's appearance had undergone a startling transformation during her time within the heart of the mountain. Her once dark hair now flowed in a shimmering stream of silver, cascading down her back like a river of moonlight. Her skin, pale as freshly fallen snow, seemed to glow with an ethereal luminescence, as if she had been reborn from the very essence of the mountain. But it was her eyes that truly captivated, a piercing, glacier blue that seemed to hold the secrets of the ages within their icy depths. Tallulah now wore robes similar to those of the stag, the fabric billowing in the gentle breeze. She pulled back the hood, allowing her silver hair to dance freely in the wind. Taking a deep breath, she savored the crisp, clean air, feeling as though she hadn't truly breathed in centuries. Beside her, the stag's form had shifted, taking on the appearance of a normal, albeit larger than average, black stag. Its amber eyes, however, remained unchanged, glowing with an ancient wisdom that seemed to penetrate the very fabric of reality. As Tallulah stood at the cliff's edge, the stag's voice echoed through her mind, as if it had always been a part of her.
Are you ready to complete your first task before the mountain, my queen?
It asked, its tone filled with reverence and respect, its gaze fixed upon her face. Tallulah straightened her posture, meeting the stag's gaze with an unwavering determination, her eyes blazing with purpose.
Yes, teacher. I am ready.
She replied, her voice ringing with a newfound strength and purpose, her fist clenched at her sides.
Good. Let us go bring justice for the mountain.
The stag said, its eyes turning towards the village below, its hooves pawing at the ground in anticipation. The village had prospered in Tallulah's absence, but not in the way the mountain had intended. The chief, driven by greed and ambition, had continued to dig faster and deeper, using new tools designed specifically for the task. The mountain's original bargain, the one that had sent Tallulah on this journey, had been blatantly disregarded. As Tallulah looked down upon the tribe that had once been her home, the feelings of longing and sadness that had once filled her heart were now replaced by a shimmering anger and disgust.
Why do they not just listen to the mountain, teacher? They could have been provided for forever.
She spat, her words laced with disappointment and frustration, her lips curling into a sneer. The stag, its own disgust evident in its low, rumbling growl, replied,
Humans like this will always be too full of greed and pride to care about anything that is not themselves, and they will hurt anyone or anything to get what they want. It's up to us now to bring them back down to their place.
Its voice dripping with contempt. Tallulah nodded in agreement, her resolve hardening with each passing moment, her jaw set with determination. With purposeful strides, she began to descend towards the village, ready to confront the past that had cast her out and the future that now lay in her hands. The mountain's power thrummed through her veins, a constant reminder of the destiny she had been chosen to fulfill. As she walked, the stag's presence remained a comforting constant in her mind, guiding her towards the task at hand. Together they would bring balance to the land and remind the tribe of the consequences of their actions. The time for reckoning had come, and Tallulah, the child of the green, the queen of the mountain, would not falter in her duty, her steps never wavering as she approached the village gates. As Tallulah reached the entrance to the village, she was greeted by a familiar face, Tahoma, the very same guard who had shown her kindness when she was handed over to the mountain. The small man's eyes widened as he took in her transformed appearance, his gaze traveling up and down her silver-haired, pale-skinned form, his mouth agape in shock.
Tallulah? That can't be you.
He stammered, his voice filled with complete awe and disbelief, his hand reaching out tentatively as if to confirm that she was real. Tallulah's voice was soft but carried a sense of urgency as she replied, her hand grasping his shoulder gently.
Yes, it is, friend. I have returned to fulfill my duties to the mountain. I must speak with Chief Tikum immediately.
Her eyes boring into his with intensity. Tahoma lowered his gaze, his expression somber, his shoulders slumping with the weight of the news he had to deliver.
Chief Tikum has passed on to the ancestors,
he informed her, his voice barely audible.
His son, Wovak, is now in charge. I will take you to him, but be careful, Tal. He has changed, and he will not hesitate to have you killed.
His eyes pleading with her to understand the gravity of the situation. Tallulah struggled to suppress a laugh, knowing that no mere human could stand against her now. She was part of the mountain, imbued with its power and protection.
I will use extreme caution, Homa. Do not fear.
She assured him, her voice filled with confidence.
I am a part of the mountain, and no harm will ever befall me.
She declared, her voice held high, leaning in close so that only he could hear her. Tallulah whispered, her breath hot against his ear.
If I were you, my friend, I would run while I had the chance.
Tahoma's eyes grew wide with confusion and concern, his brow furrowing as he tried to make sense of her words.
What do you mean? Why would I run?
He asked, his voice trembling slightly. But Tallulah had already begun making her way toward the large center teepee, where she had last been before being sent to the mountain, her strides purposeful and determined. As she walked through the tribal grounds, a familiar voice called out to her, the sound filled with a mixture of disbelief and joy.
Callie, is that you, my daughter?
Tallulah turned to look, only to be nearly knocked off her feet as her mother enveloped her in a tight embrace, her arms clinging to her as if she might disappear at any moment, tears streaming down her mother's face as she held Tallulah close, her voice trembling with emotion and her fingers gently stroking Tallulah's silver hair in wonder.
Oh, my darling girl, I thought I'd never see you again.
She sobbed, her words muffled against Tallulah's shoulder.
What has happened to you? You look so different, so otherworldly.
She breathed, pulling back to gaze upon her daughter's face with a mixture of awe and concern. Tallulah gently pulled back from her mother's embrace, her icy blue eyes meeting her mother's tear-filled gaze, her hands resting on her mother's shoulder in reassurance.
Mother, I have been chosen by the mountain.
She explained, her voice steady and filled with purpose, her head held high.
I have a duty to fulfill, a wrong to right. The tribe has strayed from the path, and it is up to me to guide them back.
She declared, her words ringing with conviction. Her mother's expression shifted from joy to concern, her brow furrowing as she processed Tallulah's words, her hands gripping her daughter's arms tightly.
What do you mean, my child? What wrong has been done?
She asked, her voice filled with confusion and fear. Tallulah's gaze hardened, her jaw set with determination, her eyes blazing with righteous anger.
Those in power have broken the bargain with the mountain, and now the tribe must face the consequences. I must speak with Wovak and put an end to this before it is too late.
She stated, her words filled with urgency, her mother's eyes widening with fear, her grip on Tallulah's arms tightening, her voice trembling as she spoke.
Please, Tally, be careful. Wovak is not like his father. He is cruel and ruthless. I fear for your safety.
She pleaded, her eyes searching her daughter's face for any sign of hesitation. Tallulah placed a comforting hand on her mother's cheek, a soft smile playing at the corners of her lips, her touch gentle and reassuring.
Do not worry, Mother. The mountain protects me now. No harm will come to me. But I must do what is right for our people, for the land that sustains us.
She declared, her voice filled with an unwavering conviction. With a final embrace and a whispered promise to return, Tallulah turned and continued her journey towards the center teepee, her heart heavy with the weight of responsibility, but her spirit unbreakable in the face of the challenges that lay ahead, her steps never faltering as she walked with purpose towards her destiny.